was a busy working woman who was a mother of 2 children. One day, she got her kids ready for school and served them idli for their breakfast, which is a typical South Indian food. And she instructed them to complete their breakfast before she gets ready. So the mom went in to make herself ready. And so when the mom got herself ready, when she came back, she saw those plates. The one plate was empty, which made her happy, while the other plate had some idli pieces in it. And she found out it was the elder brother who had not finished the breakfast. So the mom shouted at him and they went to the school. And I'm sure that everyone is thinking the younger daughter is more obedient, has followed what her mother has said. But it is not in this case. Because the next day, when the mom was sweeping the floor, she saw the small idli pieces beneath the sofa. And she found out it was the younger daughter who threw it beneath the sofa. In this story, this little girl wanted to look perfect in front of her mom, even though she isn't. Well, if you still haven't found who that little girl was, that was me, perfecting my imperfection at the age of 3. Greetings to one and all. This is LAKSHANA from KRMPublicSchool, here to present my TED Talk. Well, I think you would have all guessed what kind of person I am and what idea I'm going to speak on. Yes, it's perfectly imperfect. When this idea first came up to me when I was at school, I went to my friends and asked, how would it be if I speak on this idea? And they were like, are you sure you want to speak on this? It's such a controversial idea, that's why. I was not satisfied with this comment. So when I went back home, I went to my parents and asked, perfecting my imperfection is the idea I'm going to speak on. How would it be? And my mom and dad replied, this topic suits you really well. Go on, speak on it. Not being perfect isn't a crime. Moreover, I found the value of perfection only come in the presence of imperfection. We wouldn't know the value of light unless we spend an entire day in a dark room. We wouldn't know the value of heat unless we spend an entire week in Mount Everest without fire. And one quality the whole world thinks is unprofessional is being late. But we all know the scientifically proven fact that people who are late are more creative and optimistic. Similarly, we tend to give our job to a hard-working person than giving it to a lazy one. But we might all agree on the fact that this lazy person would be the one who will be able to find the easiest way to complete the task. I wanted to be perfect, but bad habits die hard. It is very difficult for one to do things perfectly, but I try to show my imperfections as perfect. It isn't cheating. I found that it is the presence of mind and smartness which makes it right. Recently, a friend of mine has shared a social experiment which she read in a newspaper. That social experiment, a person called Weissman has called a group of people and gave each of them a task. And at the end of the experiment, he was able to divide them into 2 groups. Let's say group 1 and group 2. So the task he gave each of them was, he gave them a newspaper and asked them to count the number of photographs in the newspaper. As soon as they received this, they went back and started counting the number of photographs in the newspaper. So the group 1 people took about 2 minutes to complete this task, while the group 2 people took some time because they were not just counting the number of photographs, they were also reading the headlines. While doing so, when they turned to the second page, this huge message saying, stop counting. There are 43 photographs in this newspaper. As it said, they stopped counting but still continued to read the newspaper. And once they were finished, they went back to this person and reported about the number of photographs and also about the message. From this experiment, what I learned was, the group 1 people wanted to complete the task as perfectly as they were told to. So they were not able to find this big message saying about the number of photographs, not aware of their surroundings. But the group 2 people did not care much about the way they complete the task, but still wanted to complete it. So they got this message, and at the end of the day, this group 2 people were with the reward and the news of the day. I am a Girl Scout, and I used to attend a lot of camps with my patrol members. And there at camps, there would be various tasks waiting for us, like climbing trees, crossing bridges, and many things like that. And then at one camp, we were asked to cook the entire lunch course for the next day. So as soon as we received this, we went back to our tents and divided amongst ourselves who was going to cook what. And at that time, I was assigned to cook sambar. And when I got that, I called my mom and asked her how to cook sambar. And then she started giving me the recipe and I took a note of it. While doing so, a thought came up to me. What if I add my own flavors to it? Would people like it? Would it taste good? And many things like that. But I didn't know how my mom caught my mind was. The next thing she said was, don't add anything extra to it or less to it, or else the taste of the sambar would get spoiled. And she repeated the same thing for 5 to 6 times since she knew that I would do it. I said, okay, I won't add anything extra or less, and I hung up the phone. So the next day came. I went to the place where I was supposed to cook. I went there, started cooking the recipe which my mom told. But then, my mind tempted me. It wanted me to add my own flavors to it. So I did. And fortunately, it turned out to be a very delicious dish which everyone loved. Everyone asked more of it. But one thing was, my friend from the other school came up to me and said, it's a very delicious dish. But what is the name of the dish? I was like, really? I took a spoon and took a sip of the sambar and I found out it never tasted like sambar. And now, I had to think of a name as she wouldn't know that I experimented this sambar. And at this time, my mind went blank. I could not even think of a name. And then an idea came up to me. What if I add my name to sambar? Then I replied to her saying, the name of the dish is lambar. These kind of experiences made me think that I could have missed all these things because I was not able to join in it at the start of the moment in our school. But my friends did. Whenever I see their faces coming back from practice, it made me a lot curious and wanted me to know what they do. So I joined. I worked hard and put a lot of efforts, and now I can proudly say I have the Raj Puraskar award with me right now. Being in Scouts and Guides was one of the best moments I had. There was a lot of joyful moments, entertainment, and many things like that. Entertainment. This plays a major factor in everyone's life. There is no one who is going to deny that they have never been entertained in their life, or they don't like entertainment. Entertainment gives colors to our life, doesn't it? But I found this factor a lot missing when I tried to be perfect. I don't say there is no fun in being perfect, but I found it missing. Because I did not have enough time to do all those naughty things I do right now, all the pranks I do on others right in that perfectly scheduled life. And one good example that could be given for this idea could be one of the best comedians our world has got. The way he makes us laugh without even uttering a word, still giving a beautiful message in each of his episodes. I know who you're all thinking of. Yes, it's Charlie Chaplin. The way he walks makes us laugh. The way he falls down makes us laugh. The way he gets shouted at by his seniors makes us laugh. But we might all think that these are all the falls he does that makes us laugh. But if you see in the point of view of Charlie Chaplin, it is a perfect way to make us laugh, isn't it? To me, the word imperfection doesn't exist because these falls make us. When I started playing volleyball, I used to do things differently than the way I was taught. So my friends come up to me and say, just do it the way we are taught, just don't do it differently. And at that time, I did not like people coming up to me and asking me to change the way I do things. But I tried to change myself, but I was not able to. So I just hung in the way I was able to do things. But after months passed, if people see me play volleyball right now, I can say that they say it as my style rather than asking me to change the way I do it. And in my opinion, I even think that great legends find their own style the same way too. Imperfection has become today's fashion. This present-day mix and match style has become so popular that there is no one who would like to wear their dresses with its sets. It's probably going to be a modern top with a traditional bottom or a traditional top with a modern bottom. If I was asked to wear a kurti, I'd be wearing it with a pair of jeans and some sneakers. But I'm sure that if I was to travel time back to the 70s or 80s, people are going to think I'm mad. But now, it has become the fashion. is perfect is the code that everyone knows, yet still they expect of it from everyone others. So now let us just imagine a world where everyone is perfect. Just by imagining, I could tell that everyone would be following the perfectly scheduled life. That they will be born, they go to school, then they go to college, they graduate, and they get a job and work till they retire. Well, if this was the case, I have got a few questions. Would everyone doing the same job? And if everyone does the same job, who would be owner of this company? Who would be paying them? Would there be any troubles or misunderstanding between people? Because I don't think there will be one in perfect world. But these are few questions that couldn't be answered. And I think we'd be missing a lot of things in this perfect world. We would have not got all those pride and proud moments which we get while reading the histories in that world. We would have not gotten all those great scientific inventions we have right now. Would have not been there in that world. All those great novels which have been written right now would have not been there. And this world is a big no to me. I think our present life gives us a lot of opportunities to learn from our mistakes. And sometimes even make some mistakes great inventions. We all know how penicillin was found, don't we? It was an accident. When Mr. Fleming was working on this bacteria called Streptococcus aureus, he forgot to clean the petri dish and went for a vacation. And when he came back, he saw this green mole growing on his petri dish. And it was not just growing, it was killing the bacteria which he was growing. This was how one of the greatest inventions of that time was created. I think we enjoy the most the way we are right now and the way we live our life right now, because we wouldn't know the surprises life has for us. Earlier this year, my mom introduced me to one of her friends and said a few things about her. And one thing that caught my attention was, she said she was a gold medalist in Master of Engineering. I was like, wow, that's great. What is she doing right now? I was expecting something in the engineering field. And to my surprise, she replied that she was a teacher. I thought that she would have felt sad because she planned her life to become an engineer, so she joined an engineering college, worked hard for that, got a gold medal in that, but now she has become a teacher. But she replied, her present life could have not been more better than the way it is right now. These kind of stories made me realize that the best doesn't always have to be planned. Now, talking about the word perfection. If I was asked to choose a place where I can work comfortably, I'd be saying a room with some stickered walls, some decorative pieces around me, and my information surrounding my room. But when I asked the same question to my brother, he said he prefers a place with less human population, more of a natural vibe, the sound of the wind's breeze, the birds chirping, and many things like that. But you may say you're like a small messy room with some coffee in your hands and your colleagues surrounding you, giving you ideas. This is how it is. When even the word perfection doesn't mean the same to all, how am I supposed to expect of it from others? And people set criterion for everything they see. When I was born, the first and obvious question my relatives asked was, a boy baby or a girl baby? And when they got to know that I was a girl baby, the next immediate query they had was about my complexion. As you can see me right now, you could have guessed what my mom would have told. And at that time, my society said having a fair skin tone is the first criterion of a beautiful woman. And most of them agreed to it too. But I did not agree to it. Whenever I used to go shopping, I used to pick a dress, but I see people saying, don't choose this color or don't choose that color, that won't suit you. I did not like people saying that to me. But I did not care much because it was strangers. But I cared a lot when it came to my own grandparents. They wanted me to be fair and they asked why I am not fair. But to be honest, both of my grandparents are dark and they expect me to be fair. This isn't fair. I know I can make myself beautiful by expressing the way I am, by expressing the things I do, and also the way by handling things with a smile. And I find a lot of my friends feeling insecure about their features because they do not match what people say. And one common thing I find is that whoever has a crooked teeth, the next thing they do is go to a dentist and make them straight. Because people say having a straight teeth would give you a beautiful smile. But I would not agree to that. Because whenever I see my friends with a crooked teeth smile, I know they have a beautiful smile too. Perfection or imperfection, it is all about people's perception. The times I tried to be perfect, I did not know what I gained. But I know that I did not lose anything the way I am right now. Thank you.